Hey guys, it's Krystal Lucier here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore. This is Realtor Life, and I am so happy you're here. Guys, so I just got back from a mission trip in Honduras, and I will say, if you've ever been able to go on a mission trip, which is kind of like a voluntourism type thing where you're going to volunteer in another country, it is always overwhelming. And I'm so grateful that I get to do things like that with this career. I can take the time when I need to. I have the resources if I need them. And being able to help is amazing. And if you do get a chance to look up, so we went to a village called Lomas in Honduras, and this is a mountaintop village, which they kind of built it out of necessity after there was a big flood. They had to kind of go up the mountain and figure it out. And until last year, they had no electricity. So they have electricity now. They don't have running water, but they do have a water truck that comes around. That water itself is not able to stay clean because it is put into a cistern. And so we actually were there. We had raised money as a church, and we were there assembling and delivering water filters, which effectively they'll work for 15 years. And they filter the water so that you can drink it and cook with it and not get sick. So that was, I just wanted to announce, like, that was a big deal because I hadn't been on a mission trip in about 10 years. And it was amazing. I was nervous, it was scary and all the things, but then I came back, and of course when I come back from anywhere I'm a little bit sick, but I'm fine. It was amazing. So I big recommend if you have a chance. And if you don't have a chance to actually go, support other people that are going, because being part of that is amazing. You can actually sponsor a child in that community, and that's what I actually signed up to do a couple of months ago. And I actually got to meet Jason. So yeah, it was really cool. And I think beyond cool, we're all here to help each other. So whatever that means to you, whether you're able to help with finances, whether you're able to help in person, whether you're helping here in your community, or you're able to help abroad, like whatever that looks like, your time, your energy, your resources, whatever you can give, it really does make the world a better place if we can all give a little bit. So I won't spend too long on that, but I would say if you are curious about it, reach out. I'm happy to share more. This for me was the 7th mission trip I had been on, and I have been to New Orleans, I've been to Kenya 3 times, to Nyahururu, to Guatemala twice, and now to Honduras. And it really shows you how big the world is, and it helps you reframe things because it's a little bit easier to deal with. Let's say there's traffic. It doesn't make it fine. Traffic is still frustrating. But can you deal with traffic in your air-conditioned car just a little longer one day without getting frustrated, knowing that there are bigger issues in the world? Maybe. I hope so. Fingers crossed. And I will say that message goes out to everyone in London, Ontario right now, because there's a lot of construction going on, and you need a lot of patience and a lot of grace every single time you have to get anywhere. And we are being tested on patience and grace right now. So yay. Okay. So I wanted to talk really quickly today about really reframing things. So I was talking with my coach, and we're kind of in a transition with my coaching company where I've started with someone new. And for anyone in coaching, if you're not, I recommend it. It's so good. But for anyone coaching, you know that part of your job as the coachee is to help your coach you, right? Especially in a new coaching relationship. And so we were chatting about, like, what do I need? And for me, and we're all different. But for me, I need concrete steps. I need to build a plan, and then I need to execute. So the abstract thinking and being creative, that's great. It's important. But I really need to get in there and get it done. And so what we talked about was creating my own strategic plan for my business. And you might be thinking, isn't that the big business model? Like, why would you do a strat plan for just you? And the thing is, if you look at us as entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, we are the business. This is it. We're here. And so if you look at an analysis like that, it'll really help you get in. So look at the big picture, and then you can go closer in about what's going on. And so we talked about really analyzing things. So I actually spent time, I took his framework, I took my coach's framework, and I went over to ChatGPT. And so actually, I'm going to go off to the side for 1 second on AI. I know AI is it's cool, but it's overwhelming. And a lot of these different companies and groups are like, let's do a course. Let's sign up for a 12-week course. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm just like, every time I hear that, I just, no, thank you. Like, I don't want your 12-week course. It's not that I don't want the information. I just don't have 12 weeks to do it. And so I found this thing online. It's called Course IV, like COURSEIV. It's not expensive. It's like, I don't know, a few dollars. But it brings you, it might be an intro level of a few dollars, then you can cancel it. But it brings you through, and really just like for 5 minutes a day, you learn a deeper level about AI. And so I learned about projects with ChatGPT, which is what I'm about to talk about. So with projects, you actually just, it's already on the left-hand side of your ChatGPT. Okay, so I didn't notice it before, but it is there. So go check out projects. You can create a project, and all that means is that everything that you talk about, all the chats within the project or project it's all one reference point. So you're not having to re-explain anything. Chat's got it. And so I created a new project called My Strat Plan and My Business. And so I put in all the stuff that we had talked about. And I basically said, like, I'm looking to create this. Can you help me? And then I asked it, as we should, ask Chat to ask you questions. So act as a real estate coach and ask me questions to clarify. And then we got through this whole thing. We went through my sales, where they come from, how I'm spending my time, how my business, my leadership, all of this. So we went through all of this, and we're still doing some stuff. But at the end, I got these like actionable things. And so I would really challenge you as an entrepreneur and a business owner to make sure that you are going and getting your data. I remember hearing this years ago from like top producers, like, know your numbers. And I was like, okay, like, what does that mean? But what it really means is you really want to know, like, if I said to you, how many houses have you sold? Like, ever. You should know that number. And what is your average sales price for you and for the city you're in? What's the interest rate? Like, things like that. Even if you have to have a little cheat sheet in your pocket, you should know those things. Because even though those things aren't necessarily a direct reflection of your skill as a real estate professional or an entrepreneur, people want to know that you know. And numbers are a really big, quick indicator of those things. Like, how do we look at someone if they're looking to rent something? You go to a credit score, right? So that's the number that says whether or not you're responsible. Does it necessarily mean that you are or are not responsible? Not really, but that's how the world works. So know your numbers. And so when I was going through, it was actually surprising to me. I will say I did not know how many homes I had sold year to date. And I think we ended up at 308 was the number it said, which is kind of exciting because I didn't know that. And when you look now, some top producers are like 100 houses a year, and I'm so happy for them. I'm not 100 houses a year. I think I am somewhere between 30 and 40 houses a year. We're trying to increase that, but I feel good with that number. But knowing your numbers, and then the other thing, and I urge everyone to do this all the time, especially if you feel a little bit of struggle right now, is know your sources. And what I mean by that is, where does each deal come from? And if you look at where each deal comes from, then what you'll be able to do is focus on the places that most of your deals are coming from. So I've done this, I do it every year, but oftentimes what you'll find, especially if you don't do this a lot, is you'll find that you're getting a lot of deals from like this source. So let's say for you, you're getting a lot from open houses, and you're getting none from advertising. But you keep pouring money into advertising and you keep skipping out on the open houses because you're busy. So your personal stats say that this is where the money is. You're not getting money here, but you keep investing here with the hopes that it'll work, which doesn't make sense, right? But if you don't know, you don't know. And so with me, most of my biggest chunk of business comes from real estate referrals from other agents. So this is other agents in other cities. And then my second source is from my business network. So referrals from my networking. So it's like my networking groups, my network of lenders, and all the people in my groups. And then my third is my neighborhood, my farming. Okay, so in my situation, I actually felt really good because that's where I put my big pillars of my time and my energy and my money go there. And so you just want to know, like, where are they coming from so I can figure it out? Because one of the things we were trying to do with this ChatGPT coach was figure out, am I wasting my time doing all the networking? We're not going to go into a big history for me, but as many people who know me know that I'm a real estate broker in London, Ontario. But that's not where I started. So I'm in my third city. I started as a realtor in Ottawa, Ontario, and I did it part-time while I worked for a law firm as a marketing and employment law clerk. And that was short-lived, it was about a year and a half. And then I moved to Guelph, Ontario as a brand new realtor who knew one person, but no one in business, like 0 people. And so I had to start from the ground up, and I did it with networking. I'm happy to share that story another time, and we do have other episodes. You can go back and find them. But the key for me was building those relationships and figuring out how I can get to know people and then how can I help them. Be careful with that though, because I've also had people come to me after a training session and it goes something like, oh, hi, Krystal, how are you? I'm like, oh, I'm great. How are you? How can I help you? How can I help your business? I'm like, I don't know, like buy a house. That's how you can help me. But like jokes aside, you have to mean it and you have to be able to do it. And so I often don't ask people how I can help them in an empty way. I usually find out about their business and then how can I help them? By supporting their business, by sending them clients, by actively promoting them, and by making sure they know that I'm doing all those things, right? So you want to show people that you are in their corner, and then that's how you're going to get to know and build that trust. It doesn't mean you're saying, I'm going to send you business, you have to send me business, but there is a reciprocity, and you're going to give and give and give, and it's going to come back to you. It just might not come back from the source that you think. But all the while, you're building this awesome business. I've been very fortunate in that people directly in my network have also become my clients directly. So like my photographer, my stager, people who like literally were just in my business network built a relationship and I was able to help them buy and sell real estate. But it really, for me, the comfort zone became in building those like mutually supportive relationships. So naturally, as you go forward, a huge chunk of my business comes from referrals. And then that third part, for me, the other thing that's a huge deal is community, because I didn't have a community originally, right? So like that I built my community with networking, and then I built my community in my neighborhood. So I said 3 cities. So in 2019, I moved to London, Ontario when I got married. And I had to do it all again. And to my coach's credit, I had a different coach at the time and I was kind of panicking. And he said, listen, Krystal, you are so lucky. And I was like, what? He's like, I know I'm like, I thought he would meant like, because I just got married, I have this new house. And he's like, yeah, that's not what he meant. He's like, you're so lucky. You have to do something crazy, but you've already done it. You personally have already done it. So you know Krystal Lee Moore blueprint to start over in a new city. A successful blueprint. You have it. And I thought, oh my goodness, he's right. I have it. And so I did exactly what he said. I did exactly the same thing that I had done in Guelph. I did that in London, and I didn't even have a blip in my business. And I would say like the lesson here to take, guys, is there's a network to be had. And London's a little bit more active than Guelph was when I was coming up as a realtor there. Because I'd say like in Guelph, maybe that there had been like 500 realtors, maybe 10 of them did networking. And then here we have about 2,500, and I'll say maybe 30 to 40 realtors are like actively networking. And I mean, when I say I'm being very generous, like I will see them out at a networking event every now and then. So it's not for everyone, which means there's a piece out there for you. And if you're kind of frustrated because you're like, I can't join a networking group, there's no space. The 2 spots in a networking group, they're almost always full. Like if there's an opening, like get in there. It's the realtor and the mortgage broker. So you're probably gonna have to start your own like I did. And I did start my own and it was fantastic. And like that has evolved. And now I've flipped us into a lead tribes group for networking. Check out lead tribes. So www.leadtribes.com. They are fantastic. It is basically, it's a networking group, but in a group of networking groups. So there's a lead tribes group in, I think there's like 12 to 13 cities right now. Apparently we're moving into a little further east into Ottawa, potentially in the US. Like who's to say? There's lots of things going on. But it really is just like being around like-minded people, because that's the thing. That's the second part of networking, is that you're meeting people, you're connecting, you're showing each other that you matter, but then you're also like conversing and collaborating and masterminding with these people who think the same way as you but have different experience than you. So you get to help each other so much. It's very cool. Okay, so that is enough about that, but I just really wanted to say, like, use AI if you can, and then get out there and meet people. Like I have my KPIs, my key performance indicators. I'm probably using it wrong, but it's just like my things that I have to do is, so I have my calls and my notes and my pop buys that I have to do every week. I have to do 50 calls. And I mean, in 2026, a call is a call. It's a call. We still do this, and that's tell me you're old without telling me you're old. That's not a phone anymore. It's like so calls, notes. So I actually physically write handwritten notes, and pop buys, which can be a couple of things. So a pop buy for me, it can be putting one of these, like a little vitamin C pack, in a card. It can be handing someone something. Like I have calendars, I have candies, I have chocolates, I have Girl Guide cookies, like whatever it is, it's a little gift you're giving someone. And those are, I have to do, I think 11 notes and 10 pop buys every week. Okay, so those are my key things. And so as you're going through all this, you want to make sure that you have a database to work with, right? So as you're networking, as you're doing all this, a lot of people think, I'm going to go to this thing and I'm going to hand out my cards and whew, great job. I guess it's better than not going, but that's not the best way to do it. So when you go to a networking event or anywhere, you want people's information. So give them your card, sure. That's not going to get you business. And if it does, it's like by some miracle. It's not as effective. But if you get someone's information, have a coffee with them, connect, reach out, send them a card, get them into your database. If you're listening to this and you don't have a database yet, I will tell you, get a database. And your next question might be, which is the best database? Like, what should I use? And the answer to that is the best one is the one that you're going to use. So I use Buffini & Company's CRM, which I just found out, heart palpitation, that they're changing on me. So I'm like an old lady at the grocery store when they moved the bread and bumped it up from a nickel. Like, I'm not cool about this, but I will figure it out. I'm still upset about Microsoft changing its tab situation, and that happened in like 2000, so maybe it was 2010. Either way, still not happy about it. We'll see how this goes. But basically, it's like you just want something that's easy to put in, and you want all of those relationships to be 5-star relationships. What's a 5-star? We have their name, phone number, email, mailing address, and for good measure, their birthday. Name, phone number, email address, mailing address, and their birthday. If you have all of that for someone, then they're a 5-star relationship, and that's the goal. And you might be asking, why do I need all this information? Good call. So that you can connect with them, so that you can reach out. It's not their job to remember you. It's your job to help them remember you, right? So and I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I'm always blown away when a business that I'm ready to give money to kind of just like doesn't acknowledge me or never says anything. And there's so many businesses out there. So if someone's not going to help you feel important enough to reach out to, you don't need to give them your business. In reverse, if you're not going to go and take the time to reach out to people, they don't need to give you their business, right? There's plenty of people out there that will pay attention to them. So be the person that's going to pay attention to them. You've got this. I believe in you. Okay, so you have all these relationships. Now what? So with Buffini, we qualify the relationships, right? So we will say like, there's A+, B, C, D. Now, you don't have to do it this way, but the goal for this whole system is to work by referral. So I think I am like 87% by referral, which is I'm really happy with, which means that's how my business is repeat and referral. And those numbers I shared really show that. So when you're going like, how do I categorize these people? It basically just means like, who do you want to spend the most time with? And it's really going to be the A pluses are the people that have already sent you clients or have already sent you connections. They have done one, so one, at least one. B, they would do it, but they haven't had a chance yet, or they don't know how yet, but they would. They're in. They like you. They want to do it. C, you have no idea. They're either new to your database or they're not sure. And then D, they're going to be deleted. So they're not deleted yet, but they're probably going to be deleted. The two things I'll say about this whole system, number one, the goal is to always be moving someone up or down, right? We don't want them to stay where they are. So they're either getting better or getting worse, whatever it is. And that's why you want to keep qualifying, which I'll go into in 1 second. And if you're having a hard time figuring out how this system works, I'm going to share something that I learned last year, which was a game changer for me. Think of your database like an airplane. Okay, so it's an airplane. So the people, the A pluses, they're in first class. Okay, they're in the pods. They have like the spritz on their face. They have the hot meal. They can take a nap. Maybe their thing goes into a bed, whatever it is. A plus. Your A's are in business class. Okay, so they have a little more leg room. Maybe they can a little more room. They get their drinks in an actual glass. It's exciting for them. B, they're back in economy. And there's the plane is cool. Like, it's a nice plane. They're in economy. They all have a seat. There's only so many seats. C, they're in the lounge inside. Okay, so we have an airport lounge. It is a nice lounge. Okay, because they're still in your database. It's a nice lounge. D, they're not allowed in the airport. They're outside. They're on the street, basically. But the goal is to eventually let them in to the lounge. If you have anyone in your database who you don't ever want to let into the airport, like you're never, ever going to want them inside, that's when you delete them. Now, in the Buffini system, you delete them. They're always kind of there. Like, you can always recover that information if you need to. But deleting was really hard for me. Like, if you think about it, like 3 cities, 3 communities, I was like, I don't want to delete anyone. Like, I need this community. And so I have over 2,200 people in my database. And this year, I'm just coming to a year of it, I started deleting. And this is how I did it. So, and it wasn't a deleting exercise, but I did something called the Alphabet Challenge. I've talked about it before, but if this is your first time listening, I will go into it quickly. Alphabet Challenge is you download your entire database. Okay, so you download it onto the way we download it is onto an Excel sheet. So a Google sheet for those who don't know what Excel is. But you download it to an Excel spreadsheet. And then I just basically I did an alphabet sort by first name. And then I separated them into all 26 letters of the alphabet. And I started at the A's last June, and it is June again, and I'm only at the S's because I had 2,200 people. I have 2,200 people to go through. And these are people that I've been collecting in my database since 2013. A lot of people. So it's been challenging to say the least, but I've been able to delete people. I've been able to reconnect with people. The way I'm doing it is I'm sending them the letter from the heart. So Letter from the Heart is a fantastic idea if you really want to show your database and your connections that you're more than just a real estate agent or more than just an entrepreneur. What it ends up being is a letter that just tells them about you. And then you invite them to tell you about them. So this is the letter here. This is for June. And there's pictures of my mission team, my husband, the fight to end homelessness, which I'm so excited. Our event is back up for this year. Woohoo! We get to help. There's a picture of me and my night mama, the LEA Remember a Member podcast, which I started hosting, and then another picture of my husband and I. So the goal is to say, I'm not just a realtor, I'm not just an entrepreneur, I'm not just a lender, whatever your role is, I am a person. And then you invite them to share with you about them. Like, I'd love to hear back. How's your summer going? Any fun plans? And the response rate I'm getting is really good. So it really is kind of a cool thing. And then once I've sent it, I put them into a new group called Alphabet Challenge. So the goal, fingers crossed, guys, I need all your hopes and prayers here. The goal is that once I'm done this alphabet, I'll be able to do the original goal, which is to get through the alphabet twice a year. Okay, so there's 26 letters in the alphabet, there's 52 weeks in the year. It should match up, but not with 2,200 people. And so the J's took me a long time. The S's are, I feel like, taking me forever. Side note, it's June. One of my clients, he has an R first name and his wife has an S. So I just peeked to see like, oh, when did I send them? When did I do the R's? And remember, guys, R is the letter before S. It was in March. So I have to hurry up and get this done. So, but the alphabet challenge, I definitely recommend it because there are people that you put in the database and then you just like, for some reason, don't reach out. I spoke to someone yesterday and it was a little embarrassing, but I still had to do it. I texted him and we had a conversation in 2020 and I didn't have anything since then. So I reached out and I said, hey, we had talked a few years ago. I just wanted to check in. And it turns out he had bought and rented his house, but not even in London. So it was kind of like, I was worried I had missed the mark, but he's like, no, absolutely. And he said like he would have reached out. And that's great, but my job is to reach out, right? So it's just lessons. We're always learning lessons. So guys, I just want to reiterate what we talked about. So mission, if it's on your heart to do something, you don't have to go to Honduras to do it. You can go down to the food bank. You can go to a local shelter. You can help by raising funds. You can help by collecting donations. You can help by serving people. You can go on a mission to another country. You can volunteer your time with the elderly here in the community. Like there's really no end to things you can do, especially when you just look inside your heart. You can give money, time, energy, your love, like whatever it is. And I'm sure it will be very much appreciated. So mission, strategic plan, try to use ChatGPT and to really like bring your business to the next level. Know your numbers and reach out to me if you have questions about that. But if you're putting all your information in, especially into a system, you should be able to get those numbers or your office can help you. And the alphabet challenge. While it has been a challenge, I definitely recommend it because now I'm going to have this system that I can continue for years to come and I'm pretty excited about it. So guys, thank you so much for listening. This has been Realtor Life with Krystal Limor-Lucier, also known as your home sweet home realtor, Krystal Limor. Thank you. We will see you next time, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week.